Hey guys, Forristicat here once more. Today I wanted to put forward my thoughts seeing as the season 2 finale of Homeland aired yesterday. I wanted to talk about it with you guys. Sort of caught up on Homeland season 1. I've really wanted to see it. Hearing that the creators of, or co-creators of 24 had sort of the driving force behind it. And always been interested in sort of drama series which dealt with terrorism and imminent terrorist attacks. This was definitely a show high up on my list that I wanted to check out. So where do I start with a TV show like Homeland? I mean, first and foremost, just from sort of like watching these episodes fairly consecutively one after the other. It goes without saying that this drama is one of the best dramas on TV at the moment. And for me, from the shows I'm watching, it's this is 3 dramas really on the moment. 4 actually. From the ones I'm watching, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, and Homeland. And with season 1, the most interesting thing to me about season 1 is just how the writers sort of kept Brody's character just so like vague as to whether or not he's a terrorist or not, and it really does keep you guessing right until the very end. And that was a sort of major mystery for me, that sort of compelled me towards a drama. Like, is this guy a terrorist or is he not a terrorist? I mean, that's an obvious thing that everyone's going to be watching the drama for. Secondly, the chemistry between Claire Danes and Damian Lewis is unbelievable. And I mean, the scene where they go out for a bar for drinks, and then they just have sex in the car. As soon as that happened, I was like, wow, this drama is crazy. And especially given the season 2 finale, if it's one of those dramas that if you watched the ending of the latest episode and then compared it to the first episode and then didn't show anything in between, any right-minded person would be thinking, holy crap, how the hell do you go from someone so hell-bent on taking someone down who's a potential terrorist to falling in love with them? And this show does it very sort of smart and methodically, and I think that's one of the major testament to how well the writing is for this show. This show is very well written. It sort of shows you the best way to put it is there's very little plot contrivances. I'm actually accepting the way the plot is flowing, and especially in the season 2 finale, there was just so much drama packed into that one season finale. The Choice. That my brain almost couldn't handle it. It's wow, and then I'm realizing that this drama is sort of naturally coming from how the story progressed. So Saul's wife wants to return home. Carrie says she chooses Brody. Then she thinks that Brody's a terrorist. Then after that, the CIA gets obviously the CIA has gone blown up as a result. Then they have to say goodbye again. There's all these emotional ups and lows that really makes the drama just this massive sort of roller coaster. And I was thinking about it, and it's really interesting that this is it's a real psychological drama, and there doesn't seem to be that much action behind it. And if anything, the action is just a catalyst for the main sort of focuses on the storyline, which is, and in my opinion, all of the best TV shows will do this, and that is, it focuses on the personal lives of the characters. And I really, personally, I believe you can't have a good TV show unless you do this. And again, as I've said a billion times before, if you don't have a TV show, or movie, or video game, or something, at least on some level that you can't relate to, then it's not going to be a top echelon of one of the best pieces of fandom out there. And that's an interesting thing. It's just like I said, there's a couple of action sequences with bombs exploding and stuff like that, but it's really just the driving force behind how it affects all these personal characters' lives. And just have two sort of very broken characters, in very different ways. Damian Brody sort of becoming a terrorist and having his family life destroyed, and Claire Danes being this woman suffering from bipolar, which is very career driven and obsessed with her work and is just very lonely. It's sort of like very interesting to see them sort of being brought together, and you realize that they're two sides of the same coin there. And yeah, like I said, like this drama is like, it's just really interesting that the drama is very much like family driven and like character driven. So like many of the scenes in the show is the Brody family just interacting in their own house, and they're just having an argument, but I'm fully drawn into it. It may as well have been like a terrorist attack scene or something like that, but it's not. And it's working just as well as if like you had like a full-on shootout there. Another thing this show does really well is it has a character in one situation. We know more about the character than another character in the same scene, and the other, the character that has done something bad towards the other character, and another character doesn't know about it. That automatically creates very good drama. So like an example is Brody going to the funeral of Walden, and or him saying like to his wife or something, like, oh, I'm glad you were with him when he died, or something like that. Just I guess it adds to the point, how much like this Brody character lies throughout the show. Another very good point, which actually the actress Claire Danes herself mentioned when she won the Emmy for Best Actress, and that's a side note, like well-deserved Emmy for Best Drama, Best Actor and Best Actress. I mean, these actors are really putting it down with this show, so that's fantastic. And what she said was when she won an Emmy, something like it's like a great writing team where you can actually take like a terrorist and make him sort of like humanistic. And I mean, that episode in season 1 where you have the drone attack and you have him sort of like like crying over this son that got killed in the drone attack, and like just the one sentence from Abu Nazir, which is and they call us terrorists. They call us terrorists. That's sort of like, it really does mess with your head and like give you like a like a different perspective on the situation. And it sort of like really did lend an interesting way for the Brody character to justify himself being a terrorist. Like, he's not like one of these terrorists in like 24 or whatever, where it's like, oh, we're against America, and there's no sort of I guess finesse behind the character motivation as to what actually led them to become a terrorist. I mean, with 24, it's like, these are terrorists, here's what's going on. Sort of like, I mean, like they try to do that in season 3 a little bit with Stephen Saunders, saying, oh, there's just global powers at play or whatever. But this, focusing on this really personal relationship between Abu Nazir's son and Brody, was a very smart way of sort of, I guess, pulling on our heartstrings and saying, this is the reason why I became a terrorist. Now what do you think of him? Is he still okay being a terrorist? And like the scene where he's about to like explode the bomb in season 1, and like he calls his daughter, and he doesn't do it. It goes to show you that he does have a human side to him. What else can I say about this show? Season 2 was overall very, very good. But before I forget, there was a couple of plot contrivances. Number 1, like Carrie just going straight back into the tunnels, and then I don't know, I just didn't feel too good about that scene. It seemed a little bit a little bit weak that she would go back there. I really didn't believe that. And also, I mean, I'm not usually one to focus on visual effects, but that explosion in the season finale where this CIA agency gets destroyed completely was may as well have been from like 1975, because that special effect was not really an effect at all. It looked like someone had poured like orange paint on the screen or something like that. So that, I don't know what they obviously were over budget there, because that was very bad special effect there. But nevertheless, it does, they do a very good job of obviously setting up the next season. Like she's going to be trying to clear Brody's name and everything like that. And at the same time, like I said, this show does a very good job of placing like the pieces of the chess game like in the right places that just naturally lends itself to like interesting drama. And yeah, even with Saul, like, you know, Saul, the Saul character says, you know, to Carrie, you know, you're the most you know, fucking stupidest person and most smart person that they'll ever know. And then you're thinking, oh wow, now he hates her. And then she dies, and then he's like, you know, crying over missing her. And it's this like emotional roller coaster that just seems so natural, given like the plot circumstances, that really just, you know, really keeps you engaged throughout. And it really does keep you on the edge of your seat. And there's a couple of scenes there, like in the season finale, like when our agent character, I forgot, you know, like the guy that's wearing two hats, can't remember his name at the moment, not gonna waste time there, where he's like about to, you know, shoot Brody from behind. He's about to pull the trigger when he's like praying, you know, at the lake. Like, you know, you think, damn, you know, is he actually going to pull the trigger? And I think that this is one of those shows that like it's established itself very well as like a show that will do the unexpected. Like last episode, like, you know, 2 episodes ago, or whatever, Carrie's driving a car, then out of nowhere, bam, like, you know, this car just runs into her. So I think any show which sort of demonstrates itself as a show that anything can happen at any time, that naturally lends itself to being a good drama. Because I was thinking that, oh, wow, you know, like I would be I really actually believe that there was a possibility that the Brody character would just get killed off right there. And I think with, you know, many of your sort of quote unquote normal TV shows, you don't get that same amount of suspense, because, you know, deep down, like, you know, as if he's the main character, he's not going to die. But then I thought, what happens if, like, you know, Damian Lewis wasn't contracted to star, you know, next season, he could actually die in this scene. So overall, yeah, with 4 minutes to go, yeah, Homeland is a very, very good drama. Once again, it's interesting to have a drama focused on terrorists, which isn't just sort of like all in the forefront of sort of like where the action is, but almost like having like a sort of like a backseat perspective of how it affects all these characters' lives individually. And, you know, as soon as I saw that happening, I'm like, wow, you know, this is great. I can relate to family drama. I can relate to these sort of arguments, and I you know, I can sort of compare that to what's going on with, you know, with all this terror stuff, and it really was engaging and compelling. And of course, it makes you think about like the motivation behind terrorism, especially all these different religions which are, you know, being introduced throughout the show. You know, like Saul praying at the end there, you know, thinking Carrie's dead, and then like the whole, you know, set up how, like, you know, they play the music as if he'd seen a ghost, and then they end the episode there. The fact that, you know, like they do take their downtime moments, and like I've said, if you want to have uptime moments, you have to contrast that with your downtime moments, and they had a lot of downtime moments. In fact, like the first 20 minutes of the show was like a very sort of psychological, just everyone just sort of talking normally, and like sort of by themselves, and like the double agent guy just, you know, eating a can of fish and just thinking, what's he going to do? And that's another thing, like there's a lot of like long sort of, there's a lot of focus on characters' faces throughout this drama, and that means that it's letting the viewer decide how to interpret the situation. And yeah, like any show that does that, you're not insulting the viewer's intelligence. You're making the decision for yourself. Okay, this character is thinking that because of that, and part of that thought process is you identifying with the character and thinking how you would feel. That connects you to the character, that makes it more engaging. When drama happens, it makes that just that more exciting. So you have like like facial expressions, and you can sort of understand like why these characters are feeling the way they are. You can see what they're feeling without, you know, it being sort of force-fed down our throats. Fantastic. And yeah, like I mentioned just briefly there's a lot of sort of long shots throughout the series which will always make television better. Like whenever you can take like a shot, for example, this is real life here, this is not a movie, I'm talking continually. If I was like cutting every 10 seconds, it would, you know, make you disengaged, as you know. So like the scene between Abu Nazir and Carrie, there was one sort of, they purposely did it, like he just like gave his delivery like non-stop for like 1 minute without the camera cutting away, and that was just very compelling. That whole scene between Abu Nazir and Carrie, and then later on with Moya, the CNN reporter, and how you think that Carrie's got the upper hand, then like the CNN reporter actually breaks Carrie, and then she starts to cry. I mean, this is like a testament. You know what? These actors are getting paid a lot of money to do this crap, but the amount of sort of like crying that these people had to do on the show. I'm thinking, you know what, take your money, and I'm happy for them to have money. Why? Because finally, like, this is a video review where I'm actually excited that, you know, I'm talking about a TV show that actually deserves to be spoken about. Homeland, excellent drama. The three tiers of what I think drive a quality piece of fandom are in full effect. You've got a fantastic story which is believable, which lends itself to great drama. You've got characters which are down to earth, which you can relate to. And of course, I was very emotionally affected and yeah, getting teary-eyed in many of these scenes. And the last thing I expected was like a romance story behind two very broken people that just can't seem to ever get together. Homeland, I'll give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. Watch it if you haven't already. And as always, see you on the next review. Cheers, mate.